Good evening to you all. Very good evening. Very good evening and Vanakkam everyone. Very good evening. Very good evening everyone. I hope voice, the video I can see, but voice I cannot see. I cannot hear that. All coming clear? Okay. Yesterday and in the morning, I was not here. I have gone somewhere. So yeah, it was some acute thing which I have to go somewhere. So I was not in Vijayawada yesterday. All clear? Shall we start now? Yes, shall we start? Every one of you ready? Good. Any issues you are having? Any problem? Understanding animal tissues. Last time we have done the neurons, okay, and we have seen. If I ask you one question, that the categorization, my question is the categorization of neurons, right? Whether they are unipolar or they are bipolar or multipolar. This classification is based on, number one, it is based on the number of cytons. Number two, the number of axons. Number three, the number of dendrites. And number four, all of these. Means all 1, 2, 3, all of these. Okay, guys, answer. Correct answer is answer 3. Very good. YouTube guys, can you answer? Very good. YouTube, I think information was not given. Maybe they can see when in the recording they can see. But here is answer 3. Okay. So very good. Answer is 3. I can explain you everything, whatever you asked for. So this is 3, correct. Now, if I change the option and make it both 2 and 3, will your answer change now? If rather than the fourth one, which was earlier, all of these, if I change it to 2 and 3, still the answer will not change. Very good. Very, very good. Still, the answer will be number of dendrites. Very, very good. Correct. It is a number of dendrites which determine, is it a unipolar, important question which will come in phase 3 examination. Suman, tell few important questions. Wow. First time in my life someone is asking me important question that will come in the examination. But even if I said those questions and you get a couple of more marks, how that is going to help anyone? I don't think so, right? And the similar questions I am asking, similar questions, what type of questions you have to prepare, okay? Then tell me, Nissl granules are present in number 1, cyton of a neuron. Number 2, dendrites of a neuron. Number 3, around the nucleus of the neurons. Come on. Third option is around the nucleus of the neurons. And the fourth option is all of these. Come on. Few students are there in the YouTube also. They can also answer. And other guys in my application and Zoom, they can answer. The correct answer, around the nucleus of neurons, dendrite, cyton. Okay, so and option number 4 is all of these. They are present in the cyton, they are present in the dendrites, and also around the nucleus. What is your answer? Why people are answering 3? I don't know why people are answering 3. They are more concentrated around. Okay, that is true. But yes, correct answer will be 4. The correct answer will be 4, right? So when the question was not says like Nissl granules are more concentrated in which region? Simply they are present in the cyton. Yes, they are present in the cyton. They are present in the dendrites. Yes, they are present in the dendrites. Are they present around the nucleus? No doubt about that, they are present around the nucleus. And so all of these is the correct answer. Okay, question number, next question. Another question. Let me make another question out of it. The question is, Nissl granules are absent in. Nissl granules are absent in, and now the options can be here is dendrites. Dendrites already gone. Absent in axon. Number 4. Both 2 and 3. Come on, answer. Nissl granules are absent in. Question changed. Will your answer gonna change? Yes. Now the answer will change. And the correct answer is they are not present in the axons. Nissl granules, which are ribosomes, clusters of ribosomes, especially found inside a neuron, and they are absent in the axon. Only in the axon they are absent. They are absent only in the axon. Only in the axon. It's an important question, either of the two questions, where they are present or where they are absent in both these. And so I told you they are the clusters of ribosomes. What could be their function? Yes, perikaryon, good. Harshita, yes, the cyton can be called perikaryon, as the word peri means around and karyo means nucleus, which means that that part of the cell which is around the nucleus, that is the cell body. The literal meaning is, yes, Avyukt, your answer is correct. I have seen the answer. Okay, and what is a cell body? Correct, Sandeep? My question is, yes, Jishnu, your answer is correct. My question is, what is the function of Nissl granules? If the question comes, what is the function of Nissl granules? Function of Nissl granules, and the answer help in synapses, it help in protein synthesis, it help in photosynthesis, or it helps in nerve impulse conduction. Nerve impulse conduction of the nerve impulse. The fourth option here is conduction of the nerve impulse, whether it helps in synapses formation, whether it helps in formation of synapses, protein synthesis, photosynthesis. Now the third one is very laughable because no animal cell can photosynthesize. Animal cells, we are not autotroph, we are always heterotroph. And nerve impulse conduction, which is not a function of cell body, it is a function which happens in the axon. So obviously that is not. So let me just Explain this synapses formation. Now this is that part of the axon which is the terminal region. We call it as axon terminal. Axon terminal plus dendrites. They help in the connection. Okay. Then third one is photosynthesis. Only plant cells can photosynthesize. And nerve impulse conduction, that is a flow. Now this is in the membrane. It happens in the membrane of axon. So correct answer here is protein synthesis. I have asked you quite a number of questions, and if I ask you next question, next question is, what is the name given to the junction between two neurons? What is the name given to the junction between two neurons? Come on. If you know the answer, you can tell me. It is a single word, and the correct answer is a synapse. Okay, it is a synapse. Normally, the synapses are chemical synapses, which means that they are not physically touching each other. There is a gap between the two neurons, but still with the help of a chemical, the conduction, the transmission of the impulse can take place. I repeat what I am saying, that usually these synapses are chemical synapses. 99.9% of the synapses in the body are chemical synapses, where there is no physical connection between the two neurons. There is a fluid-filled gap between the two neurons existing, but still the conduction of the or the transmission of the nerve impulse occur. And how the transmission occur? With the help of some chemicals. And these chemicals can be called neurotransmitters. The chemicals can be called neurotransmitters. Clear? The synaptic cleft is a fluid-filled gap between the two. So this is one neuron and another neuron, and here are the dendrites into which are making a connection between the two. These are the tiny dendrites. So actually this is between. Now if I show this enlarged, what I see that one of the axon terminal is like this. It is like a button, and the dendrite, the membrane of the dendrite is. This is the enlarged version of the membrane of the dendrite. The yellow color is the second neuron and the white color is the neuron number 1, the first neuron. And those chemicals are found. The chemicals are found in the first neuron. So those chemicals are found in the first one. That means axon terminal. So this is axon terminal. Terminal means end, and this is the dendrite, the membrane of the dendrite, and these are small vesicles, and the chemical within the vesicle help in transmission of the nerve impulse. So the electrical current or the signal can come to the end of the axon. It can be brought to the end of the axon by this membrane. But what about from here to here? How the transmission occurs? Now for the transmission, a special thing works here, and which are these chemicals, okay? So what happens that when the signal comes to this end, then these vesicles, they migrate to the periphery and they release the chemical into the gap between the two neurons. And someone has said correctly, the gap between the two neurons is called synaptic cleft. This gap is called synaptic cleft. I hope everyone can understand all this. If you can understand all this, then your future in biology is really bright. You guys are working much more than the average student of your age. Synaptic cleft, the gap between the two neurons. You know, cleft means a gap. Cleft means a gap. And this chemical is called the neurotransmitter. This chemical is called neuro, because of the neuron, neurotransmitter. Which help in the transmission of the impulse. Transmission means moving from one to another. The other neuron has some receptors, and those receptors, they respond to this chemical. So the receptors are here, the receptors. Receptor means which is meant for binding, or these chemicals, they can go and fix into these receptor like a lock and key. The key fits into the lock, and they are very specific. Only that particular key can be fixed into the lock. Similarly, if the neurotransmitter is, let us say, the neurotransmitter A, so the receptor you need should be the A receptors. The B receptors cannot work if the neurotransmitter is A. This type of, like a lock and key, highly specific combinations occur in the body. And when you know about all this, you can really appreciate that with what intelligence the body has been designed. The world around us, you just see something in front of you, you just hear some voice, you are moving your hands, you are thinking. But at the level of your neurons, chemicals are helping in transmission. Whenever you are doing something, some of the pathway inside the body, this transmission is going on. And this is so fast that we cannot even appreciate the delay, the lag. I hope you understand. And if you can understand all this, then I am saying that you are understanding much more than the average, students of your age can understand. This helps in the transmission of the nerve impulse. Transmission means moving from one to another neuron, like this. So axon to dendrite, axon to dendrite, axon to dendrite. And now the signal happens to enter the dendrite. And this is how. And the dendrites is joined to what? Tell me. The dendrites are joined to this dendrite. What do you think are these? What do you think? Yeah, this is a cell body and this is the axon. So dendrites, they are actually moving out of the axon. So the signal can come, and through the membrane, it can pass on to the axon and to be carried to the further end of this, the yellow color neuron terminal, axon terminal. I hope, bachcho, any issues here, you please write your doubt. I will first, sir, message is passed in both chemical and electrical impulse through the neuron. Now, what is relay neuron? Relay. Synapse can also be possible by dendrite to dendrite and even axon terminal to axon terminal. Now, in human body, this is impossible. However, some scientists are believing that a dendrite is possible. However, what we have to know is that this is only possible between the axon terminal and the dendrite. So for our level, even for the MBBS level also, even for MBBS level, we have to understand that this is between the axon terminal to the dendrite. We have to understand what 99.9% of the nature is working. We should not be bothered about that 0.1%. right? So some scientists are saying that even axon, but no, I am saying to you, it is only between the axon terminal and the dendrite. And because the chemical is always present at the end of the axon, and unless the chemical is released, how come the transmission is possible? Is the point clear to you? Is the point clear to you? Is the point clear to you? Synaptic vesicles, any doubt here? Now someone is asking about the electrical synapses. Bacho, I told you that maximum synapses in our body are chemical synapses. Electrical synapses are very rare. They are in some place in the brain, they are working. They are electrical. It means that the two cells are so close that what is not between them? No, there is no gap between them. The two membranes are almost fused at the junction. I repeat, the two membranes are almost fused at the junction. At many places, the fusion of the two membranes occur. And there are small rundrum, small hole between the two neurons. And with the help of those, the ions are moving and carrying the current directly. So there is no such gap into which, transmission is required. It can really conduct. As if it is conducting in one neuron, it can move to the other neuron. Advantage, very fast. It's much faster than the chemical synapse. Yes, the chemicals are called neurotransmitter. And as I told you, I said, for example, a neurotransmitter A. So we need a receptor. Usually, the neurotransmitter that is being studied is acetylcholine. Acetylcholine. The neurotransmitter which is being studied is acetylcholine. Okay? Is the point clear to you? Now, if I make a question, if I give you a question that, one more thing, the impulse conduction is always in this direction. That means it won't take a U-turn. There is no U-turn anywhere. There is no U-turn. It is always unidirectional. The impulse conduction is always unidirectional. But please remember that. There is no bidirectional movement. It is always unidirectional. I don't want to go into further, the chemical. Some people know about that, it is fine. I don't want to comment further because this will be in your first year, and that too, I think the second last chapter of biology, the second last chapter, which is neural control and coordination. But yes, you people are understanding, and I think majority of you can answer all the questions that is being asked, leaving one or two questions that may be required. For example, a disease, myasthenia gravis. That is something extra which is given in the first year book. Other than that, everything you have studied. And yes, if I give you one question that the impulse, nerve impulse transmission, the impulse transmission across a synapse is unidirectional. The impulse transmission across a synapse is unidirectional. This is your assertion. Okay? Now the reason is given like this. the neurotransmitter is released from the axon terminal only, and its receptors are present on the dendrites only. Dendrites only. Only on the dendrites the receptors are present. Its receptors. Receptors, it means it stands for the neurotransmitter. The neurotransmitter and its receptors. Now options are, option number 1, assertion, I'll write assertion as A, and reason is R. Option number 1, it is both A and R are correct. Both A and R are correct. Number 2, both A and R are correct, but now some conditions, and R is an explanation. R is a correct explanation. R is a correct explanation of A. In the second option, and the R, that is the reason, is not an explanation or not a correct explanation. It is not a correct explanation. Explanation of A. This is the second option. The third option is the A is correct and the R is incorrect. Third option is, that is, assertion is correct, but R is wrong. Fourth option is, both assertion and reason are incorrect. Guys, your answer. The question is based on assertion and reasoning. If you can do this question, we can proceed further, or else if you are not able to do this question, don't worry, I will make the question so that every one of you can certainly do it. Assertion and reason, this is a type of question where the real logical thinking, not only your knowledge, but how logically you can think, that can be checked. However, there are some drawbacks of it, but then it all depends on the teacher or the examiner, that we should take care of any such drawback and should give totally questions which cannot be or which are non-controversial. Guys, answer. The correct answer is, yes, you are right. The correct answer is 1, A. The correct answer is 1 or A, which says that both are correct. And the reason is a true explanation of the assertion. And the reason is a true or a correct explanation of the assertion. That because the neurotransmitter is released from the axon terminal, so it can only move from the axon terminal, and the neurotransmitter can combine to the receptor on the dendrite. So, and the neurotransmitter is carrying the impulse with it, or it helps in transmission of the impulse. So the impulse transmission can only be possible from the axon to the dendrite, from the axon to the dendrite, from the axon to the dendrite, and hence it is always unidirectional. it is always unidirectional. Now, when we write about the synapse, as I told you, we are talking about 99.9% synapses in the body. The 1% synapses, which I told, and why I told you, because some of you are asking about that particular synapse, which is the electrical synapse, right? So generally, they won't ask if they write just synapse, you mean, or they mean chemical synapse. But if they precisely write chemical synapse or electrical, so when they write electrical synapse, then you should think about the electrical. Otherwise, by default, it means it is a chemical synapse. And the default diagram of a chemical synapse is this one. The diagram for electrical synapse is a totally different one. What is the difference between, once again, I have a doubt here, say, what is synapse, sir? Okay, why can't the axon and dendrite have direct contact? No, they have a direct contact also, and that what I said, that very rarely they can be in contact, very rarely, right? So the body is designed in such a way that all the time taken by the movement of the impulse is very optimum. Number one, with the help of the neurotransmitter, we can control certain movements. For example, if the body wants to stop a particular impulse transmission, what the body can do, it can cause the deficiency of the neurotransmitter at that particular site only, at that site. And hence, there is no movement, there is no current moving. See, in these electrical, so we have a switch. We can switch on, we can switch off. When we want the circuit to be complete, switch on. When we want the circuit to break, switch off. But where is the switch on, switch off? In the body. So inside the body, this help in switching on and off, on and off. That means a chemical is responsible, and that chemical, whether it is available or not, that can be manipulated by the body. So at places it can work like a switch on, switch off feature, right? At places it help in, for example, whatever we see around. You go out of your house, you see so many things around you. You read so many labels, so many hoardings. You understand them. But do you remember all of them? Is it possible that when you come home and you close your eyes and everything that you have seen around you, all the faces, all the hoardings, everything, all the noises, are these coming to your mind? If it happened to, then you will become mad. Not you means anyone would have become mad. There is no survival. Which means that there is a filter in our body, in our cognition, in our understanding. We have a filter. We can filter out all the information which are not required. And we can recall certain information only. Generally, these are unusual. If anything unusual happens, so that normally we can remember it. But suppose you are going to your house and your college, again and again you are doing, then that the body understand that this is going from this route again and again. So now I should make him learn this direction. Just Google. How the Google understand. No need to do anything. The Google, you just keep the Google, the location service on. It can tell you in some days that your office is here, and yesterday at what time you went to office, and yesterday and day before yesterday, what was the time required for you to reach there? And today, is the traffic, is there any like congestion of traffic there or not? And what is the expected time today? Now, it is artificial intelligence. It can understand. It can understand that regularly he is going and coming. This something is a workplace. This seems to, a workplace like that. And this is the route he is following, right? So generally, this route, if it is congested, it can be alarmed in big. Now, the same thing. What is happening by the machine, by the Google software, that is artificial. The body has natural intelligence. Natural intelligence. Okay. So the natural intelligence can help us to remember the thing that is repeated again and again. We can understand that this is the route to my school, to my college. After some days, it goes to your reflex memory. And again, if you leave your city and go to some other town, the same problem you will face in the beginning. Everything is new. In some months, again you become pro. And let me tell you, if you return to your hometown, it has happened to me several times. When you return to your hometown 10 years down the line, 12 years down the line, if you happen to return back, then again, the same place which was in your reflex memory once upon a time, you again tend to forget that. You have to ask people and how it look like that you are actually the native of that place, and you are asking the people around you, भैया ये यहाँ से कहाँ मेरे को स्कूल जाना है, वो रास्ता कौन सा है? It happens because, see, this is the natural intelligence. As I told you that someone is asking a very genuine question, that why we need this chemical, why can't we connect the two neurons like these electrical wires? Because we have to control. And in electrical wires, we have a switch to switch on the circuit to complete and to make and break a circuit. But inside the body, inside the neural system, and this is one thing which I have told you, at a very complex level, there are several ways when you realize that how intelligent the nature is, that a chemical is involved in the transmission. And in some places where it is a by default setting, by default, that this pathway will be working as long as we are surviving. There is no chemical. The two neurons are joined together. As I told you, someone said electrical synapses, very rare in the brain, very rare. Generally, a synapse is like this. Am I clear to everyone? Okay? Beta, what is happening? It is running very fast. What if the impulse is not unidirectional? No, then it is a hodgepodge, bacha. It is a hodgepodge. So in what direction the impulse will move? If today it is going in this direction, tomorrow it is ready to move the impulse in other direction, then it is of no use. It is of no use to the body. Getting my point? So it is not a pipeline. That a pipeline, whether to throw the water or move the water this side or that side, a same pipeline can work. No, it is not like that. Inside the body, the signal moves from one place to other. It starts from one place and has to reach to other place. It starts from, my memory, then from the association neuron to the motor area, from the motor area passing through my thalamus and then my midbrain, and then through the medulla oblongata coming to the spinal cord, and through the spinal cord it is going to C5, 6, 7, 8, T1. This makes the brachial plexus. It is coming in my arm, in my forearm, and in my fingers, in my hand also. And with that I am writing on the screen based on my memory, based on the motor impulses and the force by which required for me to lift my hand up only to that level to move the marker, and in that way the marker is also not broken. I am putting the appropriate force on the tip. This is only possible when the neurons can work in one direction. But now if they stop, ki na, today is Thursday, today we will move in some other direction, then how come it will be of any use to me? It is of totally as if there is no connection between the brain and the muscles. You understand? The muscles cannot generate the information to be taken to the brain. Is the point clear to everyone? Okay, how is it is converted? Once again, in NCERT book, which chapter it is? Brain. Could you please tell about relay neurons? The relay neurons, they are present inside the, they are the association neurons. Why you want to know about them? For that, you need to know afferent and efferent neuron. Okay, so that remind me of a question here. Afferent neurons, number one, carry the signals out of the central nervous system, carry the signal towards the central nervous system, can carry the signal in either of the directions, can carry the signal in either of the directions. Are absent in the body, are absent in our body. What is true about afferent neuron? Complete. You have to complete the sentence. Afferent neuron and then a blank. Afferent neurons, they carry the signal out of CNS towards the CNS, can carry the signal in both the direction, either of directions, and are absent in the human body. Come on, what is the correct answer? Afferent. And the correct answer is 2. Very good, they are 2. Afferent, very good. Now, another question. Afferent neurons are also known as, come on, the question is, afferent neurons are also known as, come on, here is your answer, fill in the blank, come on. You should know the answer. Yes, remember, they are also called sensory neurons. You're clever, they are sensory neurons. Still you want the chapter. Please learn. If I have to start a chapter, I would not have done these classes like that. These classes are just to build up our understanding of the human body. I'm not teaching you any particular chapter. Then you must be asking, sir, then why you are taking a test at every weekend? We are taking a test because this is our policy, that whatever we teach, we have to check whether our students are remembering it or not, and in which particular type of questions our students are making a mistake. For example, if a particular concept, 1 or 2 in my class, they make a mistake, then probably 1 or 2 person, either he was absent or he has not understood. But in a particular question, if more than 50% of the class is making a mistake, then the topic is not well understood by the students, or it has not been well taught by the teacher in such a way that the students can comprehend. And if 80 to 90% of the students are not able to answer, then probably that topic has not been touched in the class. So, it is our method also to judge so many other things, to monitor so many other things. So that is the reason we are taking a test at every weekend. You understand? So, but then I am not particularly completing your course or completing a particular chapter. So I can say, beta, from here we start and here we end. Although I said that the NCRT, you can download the NCRT. Since you are at home, you have access to your Google. You can just Google. You can Google that structural organization or organization of animals. Okay, then you can say NCRT and then write .pdf after a space .pdf, because either it will guide you to the very website ncrt.nic.in, but in the new chapter, in the new books, they have removed this from that place and they have given a small amount in every chapter. So rather than a separate topic has been removed from this year. But if you happen to download the PDF of, or you might be having the NCRT textbook of your Akka or Anna, the previous edition, then it is given in this chapter by the name Structural Organization of Animals. The very beginning of the chapter, because one half of the chapter is given all these things which I am teaching you right now, and the other half is being dedicated to animals like cockroach, like earthworm and frog. However, in the new textbook, they have removed the first two animals and only retained the frog. Okay, so but whichever you download .pdf, or else if you're not able to download that, you can simply remove this NCRT and just download. There are hundreds of websites who are giving NCRT based notes, and that too you can download free of cost. You can download that, or else you can remind me. You can remind me in the evening that, sir, you have to send the, and please do not call me, because the next thing I do is I block. If I find person is calling me casually, I usually block it. So don't call me, please. You can send me a message. I am from GIFT. Please send us the NCRT textbook. So I am having the previous editions. I can send those to you. Only that part which is having all this. Similarly, bachon, if I ask you the motor neurons, bachon, the motor neurons are also known as, this information is only because I am discussing something in between the questions. This is one question and the other fill in the blank question is this one, the motor neurons. Come on, bachon. What should be your answer? Motor neurons. Incoming neurons. No. Yes, you are right. Same is a mnemonic. What is the, why I am not able to, probably the messages are hidden. That's the reason I am not able to read the fresh messages. I think now, ये latest है इनका और अब ये आ गया. Okay, good. Right. So yes, you are right, bacho. You are right. This is the efferent. Very good. E for exit. This is the efferent neuron. Efferent neuron. Okay. Now, if someone has asked one question, others can just listen, because you people have a little understanding, little higher than what we expect at this level. So if you understand, fine. Someone is asking again and again. Earlier I ignored that question, but many times the question was given in the chat box. What is the relay neuron? Relay. Right. So these are the interneurons which are present in between the afferent and the efferent neuron, and they are present in the nervous system, central nervous system. They are present in between the afferent and the efferent neuron, and they help in integrating the two. They help in integrating the two. Okay, so these are precisely known as interneurons or association neurons. Association, and it help in integrating the two. For example, this type of sensory stimulus will generate this particular type of response. Now, where is this information? Some coding will be there, na? Kahin to coding hoga. If you happen to like cough, if something like comes in your throat, some mucus or some other particle comes in the throat, it should be prevented from entering into the lungs. How? Automatically. So sensory signals, receptors are there. It can sense the signal and then it can send it to the nervous system, and accordingly the nervous system can make us cough. Cough means dagu, cough. And we are coughing it so that till that particle or the little mucus can be coughed out. Right. So what I am saying to you, depending on that particular sensation, this particular type of response will occur. Where is this coding? Where is the information lying? The information lies in these neurons, which are present in between the afferent and the efferent neurons, and they are present inside the central nervous system. I hope you understand. In brain, brain transmits and takes signal bidirectional. Yes. But there are different neurons which are taking the signal towards the brain, and also the brain is directing to the effector. So the receptors are there, bachu. Receptors are there. These are the peripheral receptors. Peripheral means they are at the surface. Peripheral means towards the outer side. Peripheral receptors are there. Then we have central nervous system, which include brain and spinal cord, and we have some effectors. Whatever I am teaching to you is your syllabus. Remember, if you happen to remind me, I can also send you the NCERT PDF of this, and you have my number. But please, as I told you, in the last 8 years, never ever it happened that students are disturbing me. I'm not that nature. I generally do not do like that. I am hiding my number, I am hiding my identity, nothing. I am open because I get like-minded people, sensible people. They never misuse anything. But this time, 2-3 times, I got it. In fact, 2 times, someone is calling me like that only. Asking me as if I am a information center. As if I am an information center. So, and moreover, I don't have those informations also to which you are asking me. So there is no problem. I am also a human being, I understand. But see, I am one person and you are not single, you are many. Since you have noted down the number, many other students in the class, they have noted down. Many of them have shared to others also. If I happen to receive all the calls, then same thing will happen. I told you that example, if we happen to remember everything that we see around, by the time evening comes, we become mad. Same thing will happen. Okay? Bachcho, peripheral receptors are there. From here, the signals are taken. From here, the signals are taken. The signals are taken, and this will go to the CNS, to the central nervous system. And from the central nervous system, signals arise. From the central nervous system, signal arise, and they will be taken to the effectors. Effectors are generally the muscles. Effectors are muscles. These are efferent neurons. This is an efferent or a motor neuron. It is carrying the signal out from the central nervous system, generally to the muscles. Therefore, the name motor. Therefore, we are using motor, which is causing some movement, because the effectors in the body are muscles. But the receptors are so many. The 5 basic type of receptors, for example, the eyes you have, the vision, okay? So we have the vision, the sound, the audio, the sound receptors, the visual receptors, the touch receptors, the taste receptors, the smell receptors, the vision receptors in the eyes, the sound receptors in our ear, the touch receptors all over the skin, all over the body, the taste receptors present on the tongue, and the smell receptors present inside our nose. These are our 5 basic senses. From here, signals, they can sense any change in the surrounding, any stimulus is there. If any stimulus comes, it can stimulate these receptors. And from here, the signal begins and is taken to the central nervous system. Inside the central nervous system, it can be understood. We can interpret that. Sometimes without interpretation only, it has to be conveyed. Sometimes without interpretation, it has to be conveyed to the efferent neuron. Once again, sometimes without interpretation. Okay, so without our voluntary interpretation, I should say, without our voluntary interpretation, they have to be conveyed to the efferent neuron. As I told you, this is efferent neuron. This is afferent. This is afferent or sensory neuron. Afferent or sensory neuron. Afferent or sensory neuron. This is central nervous system, which includes the brain and spinal cord. This is our central nervous system, which includes the brain and spinal cord. Sometimes without our voluntary interpretation, okay, for example, if we are being pricked, or we happen to touch something burning, something very hot, then it is not that this will be registered in our in our voluntary understanding. Then we will decide whether to remove the hand or not. No, without that only, as a reflex, very quickly, without our voluntary control, the response comes. And thanks to these type of pathways, the neural pathways, and thanks to this type of neuron, this is called the interneuron, or the association. It can be called association neuron. It can be called interneuron or the association neuron. The association neuron. It can be called the interneuron or the association neuron. So it helps in integrating the signals, the sensory signals. They are without our voluntary interpretation. So the coding is such that the information can be conveyed to the muscles for the action, quick action, sudden quick action, so that we can survive. These type of responses, as we all know, they are known as reflexes. Reflexes. This pathway is called a reflex pathway. Such responses are called reflexes. A reflex include afferent and efferent. One afferent neuron, one efferent neuron. Also includes receptor, afferent neuron, central nervous system, efferent neuron, and effector. Such responses are called reflexes. These are sudden, involuntary responses towards a peripheral nervous stimulation. These are sudden, involuntary responses. Can I write the information? As you all can note it down. These are sudden, involuntary responses towards peripheral neural stimulation. A sudden involuntary response, involuntary, without our voluntary control. They have survival value. Many of them have survival value. The very first day of life, when we start drinking the liquid, the milk, thanks to a reflex, the milk does not go into our lungs. We don't know it is a milk also. By our, we can say, our instincts, we are doing some action. Nature has made us to do like that. We try to suck. We try to take the liquid, but voluntarily we could take only till the throat. From there, the milk is directed only to the food pipe and not to the windpipe. Thanks to this deglutition reflex, or in simple language, the swallowing reflex, swallowing. I hope you understand, bacho. Don't worry, whatever you understand, that is more than sufficient for you to know. And lastly, I want to ask one question. Before winding, I will ask few questions. Question number, whatever the question number is, which of the following is or an interneuron, number one, is an efferent. Is an efferent neuron. Is a specialized afferent neuron. Is neither an efferent nor an afferent neuron found inside the central nervous system. Number 4, a specialized efferent neuron, or we can modify the fourth option, a specialized neuron found in the peripheral nervous system. If someone see these questions, he will understand that the class is going on for the pass out batch, those who have completed their first year and second year. And the person will come to know that at the other end, the students are answering, and most of them are answering correctly. And they have not even entered the first year. They will not believe it. They will think something fake going on. But so your answer, 1, 2, 3, an afferent, a specialized afferent. First of all, efferent, afferent. Third one is neither an afferent nor an efferent, found inside the central nervous system. And number 4, a specialized neuron found in the peripheral nervous system. And the correct answer is, now someone is answering 4. The correct answer is 3. As I told you now, someone will observe that the other end class, the students have not even entered the first year. They have not attended even a single class of first year. Their first year has not been started. Many of them don't have the books on which this matter is being taught. This matter, they don't have the book to read about this. In fact, even if they want, they don't have something straight away to read from the textbook available to them. But they are able to answer the interneuron question. Believe me, you can keep these screenshots and you visit these screenshots 2 years down the line. And then you will realize and you will feel proud at you that if we determine to understand something, our human brain can make us understand. It is capable of many more things. Right now, you are thinking that, sir, this is so nothing now. Why you are praising us? And sir, is it true that our senior akkas and annas, they are also knowing only this much? And the correct answer is just few more things. And that's what their central nervous system is all about. But no doubt, these questions which are like, for example, this question is meant for them, and I can expect the answer being given by those students. Similarly, the trick that I told you about the same, 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 right? So sensory is afferent and motor is efferent. This will help you to answer so many questions. This chapter, as I told you, and you can remind me, I will also WhatsApp, I'll send to you in your WhatsApp group. I'll share this in your WhatsApp group. This question carries signal afferent. What afferent are doing? They are carrying the signal towards the central nervous system. That means from the receptors to the CNS. From the receptors to the CNS. They are carrying the signal from the receptors to the central nervous system. Okay, then this question, this is a synapse. Usually chemical synapses are being taught, and it is a synapse, the junction between the two neurons. And these are not ordinary junctions, these are functional junctions. They are magic. And the magic is, even without being in physical touch, they can allow something to move through them. And this something is a nerve impulse, a potential, electrical potential. Now today we have discovered the the touchless, or we can say the cordless chargers. You know what we call them these days? Mobile phone. You can keep it on a plate and they get charged. What is it? Wireless charging. No, we can keep it and wireless charging. Wireless. So through the magnetic field. Through the wireless. Through the magnetic field, it can. But here you can see, this is not a physical contact and not even a magnetic field. Chemicals, and they are not doing any mistake. They can always travel from one to the other direction without fail. This is a synapse. Okay, synapse, the junction. Before that, the Nissl granules, the function, since they are ribosomes, they can help in protein synthesis. Then this is the function 1 question. Before that, I discussed with you where is these Nissl granules absent. So they are absent in the axon, and remaining part of the neuron they are present, but they are absent in the axons. What is an axon? It is the longest. It is the longest process of a nerve cell. It is the longest process of a nerve cell. What is polarity? Now, I remember someone has asked me in the very beginning, sir, what is polar here? What does polar means? Okay. Now, polar or polarity, when you can make out two different ends. Like in the earth, we have got a north pole and a south pole. In these electrical circuits, we have a positive pole and a negative terminal, negative pole. Two different poles. Similarly, in a nerve cell, in a nerve cell, every nerve cell is having a cell body at one side and the longest process on the other side. And the functionality is in such a way that the impulse can be carried from one end to the other end. So it is being taken from here, and can pass on from there. So this can be called the efferent end. This can be called the efferent end or efferent zone. Wow, I got one more question to be asked in the weekend examination, and this can be called the dendrites. This can be called as the afferent zone. This can be called as the afferent zone. So two different zones, and the signal is moving in this direction. If today it is happening like this, tomorrow it do like this, third day, if it is doing like this, then there is no two different poles we cannot make out. Now the same afferent become efferent become afferent. They are non-polar, but here they are always polar. This is the polarity. This is the polarity. The impulse transmission is from cyton to axon, cyton to the axon, cyton to axon. You understand this point? Understand? Any other thing? What is spinal cord or brain travel information fast? Time up. Yes, time up. I know. NCERT information is enough, more than. Even I know only that much. If you can just go through these, PDFs which I am showing on the board. I am also sharing in some group. But I came to know that there are few more groups into which I am not part of. So by mistake, what I am doing, because last year also we make a same group, gift type. I am searching GIFT gift, and I got that all the group I am just sharing. And I came to know that many students are saying, where is? So today I have asked him that if any other group into which I am not part of, please make me one of the part of that. Something canal, someone is asking how much voltage. This is of the order of -70 to +40 millivolt, 1000 or 1 volt. What is the neural canal? Neural canal. But a neural canal is the canal in our vertebral column, in our backbone. In our backbone, we have a canal into which the spinal cord is protected. The brain is protected by the cranium, hard cranium, and the spinal cord is protected by the backbone. The backbone, inside the backbone, there is a space, a long space, and that space is called neural canal. Understood? Neural canal. Yes, backbone, vertebral column. Yes, this is brain box. Okay. You are not in the group. You are not in the group, then how the other people are in the group, you can ask them. How do you come to know about the Gosalites? Anyone, any person here, you are known to him, or you are knowing anyone, you can just WhatsApp, or you can just talk to him on phone and please request, because if any such person whose number is there among all the students, remember, he is always puzzled by hundreds of calls. So be polite. Politeness is our virtue. Be polite, and it's a genuine question, and these people will definitely answer the genuine questions. Genuinely, very politely ask him, I'm attending these classes, I want to join in the group also. Okay, so please add me in the group. MCQ practice. If you start right now, I don't see, let us first start our first year. Then whichever college you enter, that college is giving his or the particular books they are sharing. Every college is sharing its books, and they all are good. I'm not saying that we are the no. All have good teachers. All are making enough good material. So whichever college you join, you can start doing that material. Now, right now, if you have time, what you can do, you can just download the questions, particularly of the previous year, last 10 years. For example, last 10 years, every question on the neuron, you can just search there. Even the PDF, you can control F, you can search there. Every question based on neuron, every question based on connective tissues. Okay? Now, one more question I want to ask. Name a cell, it is a very large cell in the connective tissues, and it can engulf any bacteria or any dead cell or any debris leftover. It can engulf. It is a very large cell. Come on, tell me. And you are saying white blood cell. So white blood cell is only in the blood, na bacche. White blood cell is only in the blood. Okay, but connective tissues are so many connective tissues. So what we call them, WBCs are of several types, na? WBCs, there are several type of WBCs, right? So you can now tell me, beta, all the chats that you are seeing here, you are writing here, these are being all shared with your parents also. So don't write anything which you don't want to get shared with your parents. And not only your parents, everyone parent. So someone is writing to you, or you are writing to someone. I'm not saying that don't write, don't make friends. No. I'm not like that. But whatever, see, social media is not something we are open because we are at one end and we are having some keyboard. Okay, so we have to be sensible of whatever we are writing. We should be answerable. Someone is watching you always. Whenever any digital impression you are leaving, someone is always watching you. If no one, then Google, at least Google is watching. Google is watching all of us, including this movement also, which is now going on in between you and me. So, can you tell me that question? Yes, please. And Manya, your answer is correct. The answer is they are the macrophages. Macrophage. It is a type of WBC. It is the largest WBC called monocyte. It is a type of WBC, and this WBC help in engulfing any bacteria or any dead cell or any cellular debris. Debris means leftover. Please remember the word macrophages. Please remember the word macrophages. This is one of the questions that can be asked in the weekend examination. Macrophages, these are large phagocytic cells, phagocytic or cytic cells, large phagocytic cells present in the connective tissues, they are derived from a type of white blood cell. They are derived from a type of white blood cell, and they engulf any foreign bacteria or any other pathogen or any dead cell. Macrophages. They are large irregular cells. They are large irregular cells with kidney-shaped nucleus. Large irregular cells with kidney-shaped nucleus. They are irregular cells, right? They are irregular cells, large irregular, and with this note, irregular cells, with this note, I am ending this class. Tomorrow I will tell you more about these cells and other type of cells present in the connective tissues. Okay. Okay, bachcho, God bless you all. And fine, let's myelin sheath. Oh, ठीक है. Okay, bachcho, God bless you all. Okay, and you're doing good. You are doing great. Keep the spirit up. Be a nice man. Always remember, a doctor without a niceness in you, without integrity in you, is not around. There are several doctors around you, but only people who are having their words, their, we can say, their integrity. Integrity means they are responsible for what they are doing, what they are saying. Their names are known to every one of us. God bless you. Bye-bye. Class over.